Well, all right, good people, good people. We fly back up in this. It's your guy, Inquantum Merowith, coming back at you like a laser in the darkness, ready to hit you right between the eyes with some wonderful intel today. We're going to cover a couple of things. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. We're going to crack down into it right after the intro. We'll be back. All right, good people. So let's get ready to talk about a couple things, okay? This will be a wonderful topic. In this, we're going to be able to relate to multiple of our guys out there. I'm trying to reach my fellas. Fellas. Gentlemen. My League of Distinguished Gentlemen exclusive, the Lodge members. We're reaching out to reach you guys, because I think that there is something that must be discussed and something that must be adjudicated immediately. Okay? It's about self-improvement. We need to talk about ways to improve the male or the masculine physique, mindset, all of the appearance, any and everything that basically relates to the gist or the essence of becoming a statuesque man and being stoic in your approach. All right? So that's the topic of discussion today. Men's self-improvement talk. So we're going to crack down on this a little bit. We're going to go a couple steps by steps, and then we're going to open up a live panel for a couple of people to come up and talk about it. So I see a lot of guys out there who struggle in a multitude of ways. And I believe that I am the guy who is sent to deliver you on behalf of the Creator, of course. I believe I've been, quote unquote, street ordained in the fashion and business and mindset arena to bestow upon you guys a healthy dose of intel that's going to put you in a situation where you will thrive and flourish and succeed and excel. All of these things notwithstanding, but all too much, all being considered. We're going to get you there, guys. Buckle up, strap in. Let's hit this roller coaster and go downhill like Fury 325 at excessive speed. Okay, so I want to discuss 7 key elements to improving your overall essence of a man, becoming more stoic, becoming more grounded, becoming more intelligent, more mentally adept. And we're going to cover some of those things today. So let's get into it without much further ado. Number 1, we want to talk about a healthy mindset. All right? Now, healthy mindset is a requisite for everyone on the planet, not just you guys, okay? It's a healthy requisite for everyone so that we can interact with one another efficiently, effectively, and adequately. So having a wonderful frame of mind leads to a wonderful frame of sound, mind, body, and spirit all together. It all coincides and basically comes together in the end to formulate the essence of a true statuesque guy, a true statuesque man. All right? Healthy mindset being number 1, gentlemen. See, everyone's trying to fix the vehicle from the outside in. That's what happens when you go out there, you buy a beautiful car, it's shiny, but the engine's trash. And no one goes under the hood to figure out, how can I put a turbo in there? How can I change the headers and, crankshaft, et cetera, and they just go and they just try to fix the exterior. But this is where all of us guys fall short. Fixing the exterior is only the beginning. Okay, that's not even scratching the surface. This is a whole mindset shift, guys. This is something about changing your mind, your body, your spirit. Everything has to be all in one frame of mind, one frame of thought, one frame of reference. It all has to go together. Okay. In other words, with a healthy mindset, you can begin to see clearly. You can begin to think clearly, make rational, sound decisions, keep yourself out of trouble, keep yourself out of harm's way. Okay. Unfortunately, most guys out here, they're just basically drowned in what they believe they should be doing in this world. But unfortunately, they don't have the background and the knowledge and the understanding of how to move and to be moved appropriately. And it results in bad results. The results are what you're going to get. You end up getting what you put out there. And if you don't put out there the right things, you're going to get the wrong results. And it's going to be your own fault, because you're supposed to take time to learn how to polish yourself, how to chisel yourself to become the best person that you can be for yourself and your family when you walk the earth, because you are a representation of your family, you are a representation of yourself, and you have to put your best foot forward. That's just the way it is. So everything begins with a healthy mindset. That's number one. Without it, you're going to suffer a huge catastrophic setback in life. What do they say? If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. Well, it starts with a healthy mindset. Without that mindset, you're lost. Okay? Numerous books out there will basically elaborate further on these things. Okay? Think and Grow Rich, Laws of Attraction, 7 Effective Habits, things like that. Okay? Getting the right manuscripts and the right books to read will help put your mindset in a situation to where you can grow. Okay? A stagnant man is a dangerous man. Okay? If you're not ascending in life, if you're not excelling in life, you're stagnant. That's stagnation, and nothing positive can come of stagnation. What happens when you see a barrel filled with stagnant water? What does it attract? Mosquitoes, flies, all types of things, and that's not good for the environment. And it's not good for you to be stagnant either. But that's a cautionary tale. Okay? Looking out around you to make sure that you're not falling victim to these things. Stagnancy is just, it's not a place that you want to be. You can't thrive in stagnation, period. Number 2, a sharp appearance. Number 1 on the list, in my opinion, when you walk amongst those in the world, but you have to have a sharp appearance. Okay? That means grooming yourself, guys. Number 1, grooming. If you have a mustache, groom it. If you have ear hair, trim it. Nose hair, trim it. Always have a nice shave. Whether you wear a beard or not, keep it lined up. Keep your hairline on top of things. Keep everything up above board. You have to present yourself in a way that the world will accept you from what they see, because that's how the world is going to judge you. You're judged upon how you are perceived visually. You may be the smartest man in the world, but if you look like some guy that's been sleeping on the street for the past 3 weeks, no one's going to hear you. They're going to see you. We all know what happens when they see you the wrong way. They're going to treat you accordingly. No matter what your mental state is, no matter what your verbal game is, your appearance is everything. Okay? You approach people in the street, if you look like you don't know what you're talking about, but you might know what you're talking about, it's going to come off like you don't know what you're talking about. Because they're going to say, if you look like you know what you're talking about, I'm sorry, if you don't look like you know what you're talking about, but you sound like you know what you're talking about, well, obviously it's not working for you, so why should I listen? That's what's going to happen. They're going to look at you and they're going to size you up based upon what you look like and what you sound like, and if it doesn't match, they're going to walk off. Some instances, they may even call the cops on you upon the situation. Right? Sharp appearance goes with everything. Your grooming is key. Your wardrobe is key. How you dress, how you smell, how you wear your clothes will all determine how people will perceive you. This is very, very important. Okay? You must carry yourself with not only a good mindset, but a very sharp appearance to garner the most respect that you're going to run across in the street. Okay? Number 3, A solid base of interpersonal and communication skills. Oh my. If you are a person dealer, that means your employer, that means business associates or colleagues or constituents that you might call friends or counterparts or whoever they may be in your life. You're not going to get very far with people if your interpersonal skills or your communication skills are trash. You're not going anywhere. Learning how to speak appropriately and properly is key. To do so, you must train, just like you have to do in any other facet of your life to get better at it. If you're terrible at your speech, read more books, listen to some of the podcasts out there. There are hundreds of videos that will guide you down the path of learning how to speak, how to carry a conversation, how to properly communicate, how to have great interpersonal skills, which requires listening, then responding. No, I take that back. It requires listening, interpreting, then responding. See, talking over people and all this stuff, that's what's going to get people to hang up the phone on you. They're going to walk away from you. You know, people don't respond very well when they believe that their mind is not being allowed to properly elocute or elaborate on their thought. So if they're saying something, you cut them off. They may not say anything the first time, but eventually that stuff gets annoying because you can't finish a thought. And if no one allows you to finish a thought and you're trying to get it out there, guess what? Somebody's going to step up and say, all right, I'm done with this conversation. This is a wrap. This guy doesn't listen very well. He has terrible soft skills. Soft skill is an interpersonal skill. If your soft skills are trash, they're going to consider you to be trash as well. You have to learn to listen, process, then respond. Don't listen to respond, because a lot of people do that. You'll be saying something, you'll be talking, and they'll just cut you off. It's like, wait a minute, did you even process what I said? And most of the time, people don't. That goes for people when they're 10 up to 65. I've seen it up and down the board. People failing to have a common sense approach to communication. How can you speak with someone if you don't know what they're talking about? Which means you have to hear them first. You have to hear them out. You have to listen. And then you process what they said. And then you respond. And then if you have a question and a thought, you then verbalize your question, your thought, allow them to listen and then process and allow them to respond to you. It's called a conversation or a dialogue. It has to go both ways. Most people are interested in one-way conversations, or I call them downtown conversations because they're one-way streets. So you talk to someone and they're just instantly only interested in getting their only point across. Just theirs. They don't care about what you're thinking. They're just saying what's on their mind. And you're kind of like, well, and they're just cutting you off. And it's freaking annoying. But guess what? Those people don't get consideration for a conversation. You just turn around and walk off. Or you hang up the phone. You'll hang up the phone and walk off frustrated and you'll be upset. You'll be furious about it, but that's what you'll do. Without proper interpersonal and communication skills, guys, you will never get to the next step of your life. I'm telling you. No one will talk to you about big deals or big money. You'll be relegated to small time and people that think and act just like you. And believe me, these people are on an island and you'll be the president of that island. Trust me, you'll be there right along with them. Because no one else is going to hear you. No one else is going to take position in what you got to say. Specifically, if it's going to result in a large situation that affects multiple people and multiple commerce transactions or whatever, finances, whatever, no one in positions are going to consider you to be anyone worth listening to because you don't know how to have a general discussion with the proper interpersonal skills. You're going to get passed over and looked over and laughed at. They're going to say, do not talk to this guy. He is a waste of your time. They're going to call you an idiot. They're going to call you an imbecile. They're going to call you an ignoramus. Everything they can come up with that can castigate you and insult you, they're going to use it and apply it wholeheartedly. Okay? So guys, that's my number 3. Strong and solid base of interpersonal and communication skills are dire in today's society. They're required for growth and sustainability and the opportunity to advance yourself in life today. In society, this is looked upon as a strength, and people appreciate it. You learn to have good conversations with people, listen to them, even if you don't agree. You allow them to finish a thought. You allow them to get it out, and you say, okay, well, sir, let me tell you exactly why I don't agree with that. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to agree or disagree, but then allow them to finish your thought first, and then you verbalize your position. That's how you gain respect. Okay? Number 4, strong financial goals, whether they're business goals or either your job. Okay. What do I mean by that? All right, Quantum, what are you talking about? All right. Everybody on planet is not fitted to start a business. Okay? That's just the reality of the world. This is no bones about it. This is no opportunity to disparage people or belittle anyone. Everyone's not going to be self-employed or an entrepreneur or a CEO. This is not for everyone. What's required to hold those offices of life are all of the above that I just mentioned, 1 through 3, including number 4. You have to have everything on number 1 through 3. Healthy mindset, sharp appearance, solid mindset, base, interpersonal skills and communication skills. Those are required in order to run a successful enterprise. Whether you like it or not, it's a fact. Okay? You don't have to agree with me, but it's the truth. Now, you must understand that having strong financial goals go hand in hand with all the 4 aforementioned 3 that I just said. You have to have all 3 of those, and you're going to have strong financial goals to improve yourself as a man. You're going to have to possess that. If you have a wife, she's going to be looking for that. Trust me. Every 31 days. When you go to the mailbox, you start pulling bills out of that sucker. Your wife's going to be standing there looking at you like, oh, what are you going to do about this? And guess what? If you didn't possess 1 through 3, you're not going to have 4. And if you have 4, it's going to be very paltry. If you do not possess 1 through 3, if you do have number 4, which is strong financial goals or some kind of financial base, you're not going to have much of it. You're going to probably be the dishwasher at the local church chicken. Like Unc say. Or wherever else you work, man, you're going to be relegated to a simplistic and remedial form of life. You're going to be working at the Pizza Hut. You're going to be at the Bojangles. You're going to be at KFC. And that's cool. It's honest work. I get it. But you're not going to have much. That's a limited lifestyle. You might get a vacation every 5 years. And you will definitely be relegated to minimum wage. Oh, yes. Believe it. Whatever minimum wage is today. I have no idea what it is anymore. But I know you will be earning that if you don't have 1 through 3. That's a fact, Jack. Okay? So whether you earn through a business that you own and control or whether you earn through a good job. But let me talk about both of those right fast. Having a business is not easy, guys, ladies, whoever's listening. Having a business is not easy. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Share the live. I want to get people on here. This is real talk for good people out there, okay? This is your Monday through Friday talk. Weekend talk is sports and stuff. Like we can get on that stuff anytime. Right now, this is Monday through Friday talk. This stuff you got to know when you walk out your door every day to earn your living, okay? You have to know this stuff. I don't give a crap if you know anything about my football team, basketball team, hockey team, all that. You have to know this stuff right here. You must possess this information, or you will be at the local church chicken or KFC. That's the fact. All right. So either in business, you have to understand it requires a certain set of skills to run, own, and operate that. That's a whole nother live in and of itself. We won't go down that road today. It's too lengthy. Or you must have a pretty good job. Median average family income between 45 and 60 grand for average Americans. That's pretty much the gist of it. If you are earning about 100K or more, you're in the top 3 to 5 to 1% percentile. So you're considered to be earning pretty well and substantially. If you're not many people ever get to see that in one course fiscal year. They'll probably be relegated to the 50 and 60,000 if they're good and lucky. And that's about $5 grand a month if you're making about 60. And that's not terrible. I mean, you can live okay on $5 grand a month. You can have a pretty good life on that. You don't have to go out and burn all your bread, but you must understand finance and you must have a strong sense of financial goals. Now, what that entails also is being able to invest said funds appropriately. Okay? That means not eating out every day. That means not being at the mall every day, buying sneakers and buying shirts and hats and goodies and all that. That's not how you're going to grow your financial base. You're not going to grow a strong financial base and present a strong financial edifice and have strong goals to accompany that if you're not doing the proper things with your finances. You have to budget, guys. If you're going on Instagram and you're looking at all these wonderful people on private jets and they're in Tulum and they're in Mykonos and all these places partying on the yachts and all this, that's cool. But they're probably doing it on credit, which you're going to have to pay back. And they're probably doing it on saved money. And if they're doing that stuff, they're only doing it for 1 or 2 days. So that's all they're getting forward. Most people are not making above 100 grand a year in America. That's a fact. It's only like 2%, 3% of people in America earning 100 grand or more a year. It's a very small number compared to the population of 338 something odd million people. It's not a lot. I'm being real. Stop looking at that stuff. Stop looking at Instagram and trying to, romanticize these extravagant lifestyles and start putting together a plan so you can really earn some good money and you can start getting in situations where you can go to those places and not have to spend the last little bit of money from under your mattress in a holy sock. Okay? So having your strong financial base means understanding money, understanding where to put it, how to deploy it, how to use it in certain facets where it doesn't cost you as much to even earn it, because money costs money. A lot of people don't realize that, but money is not free. To have and possess said money costs money. And that's another lie. I'm not going to get on that rabbit hole. That's a tangent as well. I'm not going to do it. Oh, I want to, but I'm not going to do it. Okay? So, like number 5, great understanding of finances, investing, and asset protection is key. Okay, now that goes hand in hand with number 4, strong financial goals. These things run hand in hand. You must understand that if you are the male or the breadwinner in your family, sometimes the woman can be the breadwinner. I've seen that. Nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes that's the case. Okay? If it is the case or not the case, you're still going to have to understand finance as a whole, where to put it, where to deploy it, how to plug and play it. There are multiple avenues of properly deploying your capital. And don't tell me, I'm going to get a 401k. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. But you're not going to get wealthy off a 401k. That's basically like a safety net once you're a certain age. Retirement funds or whatever have you. That's okay when you're in your late 50s or 60s and you need some extra bread to pay some stuff. That'll come in handy then. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about making a living off of your investments. That means playing the S&P 500, crypto, real estate investing in businesses, buying shares and stocks of various companies out there that you may be doing some research on. These are things you can do and you should do sooner rather than, and you must do this before your money starts to dwindle. But remember what I said before, you will not get to number 5 or number 4 without number 1 through 3. You must possess 1 through 3 to get to 4 and 5. I'll run it down again. Number 1, healthy mindset. Everyone must have this. Man, woman, child, doesn't matter. Everybody. 2, a sharp appearance for acceptance. Okay? Number 3, a solid base of interpersonal and communicative skills. You must possess that. That's 1 through 3. which leads to number 4, strong financial goals, because now you understand how to plan out your lifestyle and how to plan your money, and et cetera, either business or a good job. Or number 5, great understanding of finances and investing or asset protection. Now, one other area here of your strong financial goals, having a great job. It's fine to have a great job. It's okay. Some people go to college for years in order to be the head of a company or to, qualify for that job at this prestigious firm of some sort. Engineering or STEM, science, technology, engineering, or math. These are prestigious positions in society that pay the most of the money. And you can be a blue-collar guy and still get good money. Don't get it wrong. Plumbers and electricians and HVAC dudes, them dudes get paid. They do make money, especially if you own the company, you got the contracts. That's another live as well. We're not going to get into that today. But understand, having a good job is fine. You may work 9 to 5. You may work 60 hours a week. You may work 80 hours a week, overtime, all that good stuff, double overtime on holidays and whatever have you. But you at least have to have that. Or you have to be running your own enterprise and making that money, which is more obligation and, all that and that. So companies, owning a company is always cracked up to be. But hey, it's freedom to a degree, whatever floats your boat. Got 2 more to cover right quick, guys, and I'll drop a link. You guys want to come on and talk a second? We can do it. Almost there. Hang with me. Number 6. You must be very well read and studied on global and current events. Tell you something, guys. You cannot be top heavy in one area. If you know everything it is to know about the latest video game, but you know nothing about what's going on in the G8 or the G7 or G20, or you don't know anything about what's happening over in some of those war-torn countries and how that may affect you, and if you don't know anything about that stuff, you're going to be messed up, because everyone in America lives in their little bubble, and it's all cool when you're here. But then once America starts making moves according to the rest of the world, and you do feel these moves, whether you know it or not, and you complain about it. Why does this cost so much? Why do we have to register to do this now? Why? Because you're not studying what's going on in the world. That's why you don't know anything. You cannot be a bump on a log in the middle of the forest in Wyoming somewhere and think that you're supposed to be excelling in life. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to be smart enough to understand that the world requires your interaction as well. So you have to read. I know a guy that reads when I talk to him. When I have a conversation with a person, I know if he reads, I know if he studies, I know if he's a very, very devout, adept person. If he's an avid reader, I know this when I speak to him. You don't have to tell me much about you. When you talk to me, it tells me everything I need to know. Yeah, I'm an instant judge of character right away. I can tell exactly who I'm dealing with. Give me about 35 seconds. I kind of know where you're at. Okay? But if you want to be considered to be someone that someone would talk to or have lengthy discussion with, or someone that would take seriously, you must be very well read. You must be very well studied. And it has to be encompassing global and current events, or things that surround your life that propel you and those around you to greater levels of prominence. All right? Get in your books, guys. Go to the law libraries. Go to the bookstores. Grab hey man, I want to see your libraries at home filled with good books. When people say, I'm bored, I'm tired, I don't want to do that, man, listen. You should be reading when you're not doing anything else. Sharpening your mind muscle, or building your mind muscle, sharpening your mental agility. Okay? Your cognition needs to be firing on all cylinders. Every time you have a discussion with someone, you need to be able to go right to that dialogue and pull something out. Straight up and straight down. Just like that. What up, Kobe? Little bro, what's happening? Yo, Mello. What's good with you, Mello? Glad you guys are in here, man. I'm going to drop a link in a minute. We can talk a little bit, guys. If y'all still there, y'all want to talk, I'll drop a link in a second. I got one more thing. I have 1 through 7 on my list of dialogue to talk about. And this wasn't going to be a very long live. I just wanted to steal a moment every time on a Saturday evening and just chop it up a little bit. Okay, we spend so much time talking about this other stuff, and it's cool, but none of that stuff is going to advance you in the world, man. It's not. I love it, but to me, that's downtime stuff. That's stuff I do when I'm doing something else. Okay, but these discussions need to be heard, and they need to be taken advantage of seriously, or else you will be relegated. B Print, what's up, bro? I'm glad you're here, B Print. Just dropping the things that these guys, what we need to know, man, as guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop a link, B Print, in a minute. And we're gonna talk about it. Last one, guys, and the link will hit the chat. I promise. Number 7. You must be, or on your way to being, and I'm gonna reserve this one for guys like my little bro, A. Kobe, and Young Mello, the young guy, the young gunners. I know they still building themselves. They're going to get there. But for guys who are, 29, 30 plus, 27, 28, 29, 30 plus, here's number 7. You have to be very well traveled domestically and internationally. And I'm going to say why. Right quick. I'm going to tell you why. Right? Being very well traveled, whether you've been to 2 states, 41 states, 18 states, or 22 states in 3 countries, 18 states in 8 countries, whatever the number is, whatever the rotation of your movement is, doesn't matter. I can be from North Carolina and never left the state, and I'm going to be relegated to the information of those who are around me. I'm going to be predicated, or I'm going to be a predicate, rather, of those who tell me what their experiences are, and I'm gonna have to draw from that. So if I've never gone out of my state, if I never left the city, I'm gonna be like a fly in the soup. I'm not gonna have any background, any knowledge on anything other than what someone says to me or what I can read. That's gonna be it, and that's cool. It's cool. But when you start climbing the ladder of success as a prominent man or a prestigious man, you're not going to be able to stand in certain circles, man. You're not going to get in certain rooms. You're not going to be admitted to certain places, admitted to certain events. You're not going to get invited because the people who control these things are going to look and say, I know that guy. He works at the shoe store with Al Bundy. He sells women's shoes like Al Bundy. He doesn't know anything about Prague or Oslo or Cartagena or Santiago, Chile. He knows nothing about these places. Why are we going to let him into these rooms where all this money is passed around? Why are we going to let him in these rooms about $300,000-$400,000 transactions at a time, $5 million transactions? Why are we going to let him in there? We'll let him in here to serve the food. We'll let him bust the tables. But we're not going to allow him in here to discuss. He's not going to have a seat at this table. See, we should be tired of that, man. We should be tired of not having the opportunity to come into these places and be considered. But you know why? Because the guys who are at these meetings, who are at these events, who are at these mansions, they hold these meetings and they invite the people who can further their cause. Trust me, it happens to me every day. But I didn't get there by not sharpening my 1 through 7. All right? You're going to need to sharpen your 1 through 7 to be considered for these types of things, or else be relegated to the kitchen and church of chicken. And don't be mad when you get your paycheck and it's short about $200 and you can't pay this bill or that bill or that bill. You can't be mad at anyone but yourself because you're not taking advantage of the things on a lower level scale that you need to get to the place where you can be considered for these opportunities, quote unquote. That's what I'm doing for you guys. I'm here to build powerful men. Okay? The other stuff is cool. All the other talk and all this, it's great. I love it. But what happens when you cut those calls off, those lives, when you get off those panels? Where are you then? You back to the life that you have built for yourself. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, you there. You back to where you started. And what do? You say, if I can just get a little bit of uplifting about this or that for the day, I'll make it through my shift and I'll turn around and do it again tomorrow. Cool. But when you wake up on Christmas morning and your little girl or your son is like, Dad, why I only got one gift? Why is there water leaking from our ceiling? Why our car keep backfiring? Why the window in the back seat don't roll all the way up and it's 22 degrees outside? Why I don't get the newest pair of these shoes, or why has my coat got a hole in it? And you're struggling. And it's only because the time that we need to be applying ourselves to certain things are being overlooked and filled with other things that will not advance us. They will not propel us. I'm tired of it, guys. I want my guys to be powerful, man. I like to look next to me when I'm sitting in the waiting room, getting my tires changed at the BMW dealership. And I want to look to my left and see a strong guy that look like me, that shares my likeness. I want to look to the right and see a strong person that talks like me, that may or may not share my likeness. I get tired of going to the Beamer dealership and I'm sitting there and I'm beside people who look like someone's giving them information and they've had it for 30 years. Because most of the guys that I see in those places are older guys. But nevertheless, I see some young guys in there too. And guess what they do? Every time they see me, they walk up to me and they say, "Hey man, that's a dope pair of shoes. Or that's a dope outfit, bro. Man, where you learn how to pull that off?" Well, this and that. I start speaking then, right? Because they haven't heard me talk. They just looking at me. They say, "Oh, that's a dope bag," or "That's a dope this," or "I like that, man." And the moment I start conversing with them, they say, "Oh, shoot." And they start asking me all kinds of stuff. And see, that right there is where opportunity is born. Because they see within you the opportunity to learn from you, grow with you, advance with you or for you with the information that you might be talking about, but they don't have any information. They may have all the information and the answers to what they do, but guys, it's like this, guys who have information, who are advanced in life to some degree, they don't know everything. So they're always looking for someone else to fill the voids that they don't have. I'm telling you guys, this is how it works. If you have some kind of knowledge, some type of expertise that you have built, other people around the world somewhere that you're going to run into, they don't have all the answers, because I know I don't. I have what I have, but I'm always looking to advance by talking and listening to other people that know more than I do. And that's what happens when you go out there. It's the situation that's going to happen when you're out there. If you look the part, if you sound the part, your mind is good, you smell good, you dress right, you have the right communication skills, you know a little bit about investing in money, you know a little bit about traveling and museums in Prague and Barcelona, places like that. I've been to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, right? People want to know what that looks like. How many people can you walk up to in your own life and say, "Have you ever seen the Arc de Triomphe?" I guarantee you it'll take you 30 years to find somebody that's seen that. Especially if you haven't gone anywhere in your own life. Because the people that are going to be surrounding you are going to be people that have not done anything either. They don't know. They don't even know what the state capitol look like in most of these situations, man. They'd be amazed to walk into the state capitol building for the first time. Most people haven't done anything. That's what we're going to change, guys. All right? We're going to get this right. I'm going to drop a link, guys, in the chat right now. You want to come up, have a discussion, have a dialogue, let's do it. Link in the chat, guys. Jump up here if you want to. If you want to have a discussion, if you want to have a dialogue, if you want to listen, drop some jewels, learn some things. We're talking men's self-improvement today, guys. That's where we at. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to disparage people. We're trying to educate, and propel and offer guidance to those out there that need to learn something. Come on up, guys, if you want to hear this stuff. If you want to ask questions, let's do it. You want to talk about it? Let's do it. I'll tell y'all, the encounters that I've had over the years have been very interesting in a multitude of ways. A multitude of ways. I've run across people in all walks of life. And you know what I see with most people? You look in their eyes and you see a person, but inside their eyes, you see a person trying to get out. It's like somebody's trapped inside, but they're kind of walled off in the sentient man or woman that you're talking to. They all want to get out. And the reason why they don't or they can't is because the opportunities aren't there. They may not have this, they may not have that, the know-how, but everybody wants to equate everything to money. And it's not all about money. Not all the time. You'd be surprised. I'm gonna tell you what I mean when I say that. People that have all the money in the world aren't looking for all the money in the world, guys. That's not what they're looking for. They have money. It's not about, people with money are not trying to get more money. That's not the game. They're trying to expand their palate. The way that they do that is by opening up various opportunities and projects and things like that so they can gain access. See, guys with everything, they want access. Multimillionaire guys and all that, they like money. That was only the goal to give them the key to the rest of the world. Earning a couple of dollars was the inception. That was the entry point to get them to the point to where they can advance further in life. But you need the money in certain situations. But truthfully, most people just want money for the wrong reasons. Not many people are having this type of discussion what we're talking about right now. Because most people just want to go to the mall. They want to go to Steak 48, Del Frisco's Double Eagle. They want to go to McCormick and Schmick's. Most people, they want to go to the Capitol Grill or wherever they go. And they just want to have a good time and go home, wake up and go back to work. And that's fine. And that's all you want in life. I'm cool with that. I mean, hey, I'm not pushing you to be more. I'm just giving you the opportunity by information to have more or to be more. That's what we're doing here today. This is about motivating those who already have the gumption to take a stance, but they just don't have that other little piece to kind of pull them through. That's what this live is about. It's about helping people to understand who they are and where you can be in life with the right mindset, with the right appearance, with the right knowledge base, okay, right inspirational etiquette. If you are a person with inspirational etiquette, you can inspire people to come around you in all walks of life. You be like the Pied Piper on this joint. You have a trail of people walking behind you. Link in the chat, everybody. Jump up here if you want to hear. But I'm gonna tell you, as you walk through society, you will have access and opportunities come to you by virtue of those 7 things that I just mentioned to you. Those 7 things. Just the 7. I'm telling you, you knock the 7 down and you won't be washing dishes at Church of Chicken. You won't be delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut. That won't be your life. That will no longer be who you are. That won't be you. You will be someone to be heralded, someone to be lauded. They will look at you and say, yeah, there that dude go. I've seen him before. You walk into an office building, they won't ask you for anything if you look like you belong there. But if you don't look like you belong there, sir, can we see your ID, sir? That's how it works. If you don't dress the part the right way at the right situation, the right time, that you're going to get questioned, you're going to get stopped. I'm telling y'all, man, I'll have on, I would say a dress down business casual look. I won't even put everything into it. I'll just say, let me just grab this, that, boom, boom, boom. I put it on, bam, smell good. Put some of that body oil on and boom, I'm out the door. And man, I'm telling you, they'll come up to, hey man, this is, hey man, you look like you know something. And I'd be like, maybe I do. Let's have a conversation. And I always leave the house with a stack of business cards, and I come home with a quarter of them because people all want to know you. B Print, let me read what you say. You say financial literacy is a big problem in the Black community, among other things. Bro, let me tell you something, man. B Print. Financial literacy is something that has evaded us all in the Black community. And it's because no one has had these types of discussions with anyone in the Black community. And if they do, they make it to where you have to spin an arm and a leg to get to the information, and they make it difficult for you to get it. And some people, by that time, they're like, I'm turned off, I don't want to hear it, or maybe they just don't like you. Maybe they just don't want to listen to you. That happens all the time too. But nevertheless, it's still a fact. We are devoid of proper information in this society, especially if you are a person of color. If you have melanin in your skin, you're going to be a little bit devoid of information. All right, it's just the way it is. Now, we can change that, but we have to understand where to apply our time. Okay, we have to know where the time needs to go as people. See, some people see certain things in life and they don't see the value in it because it's boring or it makes them sleepy. But the moment the Panthers come on, oh my God, that's the talk of the town. But guess what? When that Panther game go off, you know the only ones that got money are the guys that was on the field. Some of the people that was at the game in the stands, the announcers. I mean, David Tepper, like, you know what I mean, Rick Snall and them at the Hornets. That's where the money's at. After they've gotten your $300 for the day, and you just kind of back to where you were, $300 poor. And they've succeeded in their financial goal because guess what, guys? In life, a sale is made every day. What side of the sale are you on? A sale is made. Do they sell you on why you need to give them your money? Or do you sell them on why they should give you their money? That's just what it is. A sale is made. In life, there are two parties. A buyer or a payee. A person receiving something or money. Which side are you on? Are you the guy that's consuming? Are you the consumer? Or are you the receiver of whatever it is? I like being a receiver, man. I like to buy, but I like to buy the right things at the right times. But financial literacy, man, is something that we must learn as a collective unit in the Black community. And a lot of it you can teach yourself. But you have to tell yourself what's valuable in life. Like, you can't wake up every day and say, well, you know, watching the game and all this stuff and all that. You know what I do? If I watch the game on a Sunday, I'll have one of my books open right beside it. I'll be watching the game, and the moment they cut the commercial, boom, I'm in the book. And I'm vacuuming up everything I can get my hands on. Intellectually, that is, B Print. And then I'm going to reverberate and I'm going to bounce it back when the game comes on. And that's only for a few short hours of my Sunday, if I'm not training, of course, on top of that. But after that, I'm going back to what I was doing. The game goes off. Guess what? That Monday, I got to be back out there making it shake. But the problem is, most people are going to be making it shake in places that they hate. Most people aren't where they want to be in life and they can't stand it. But you got to ask yourself, what did you do during the course of a week to improve that? Did you follow my 7 steps? Did you hit any of those bullet points? Did you put yourself in a position to grow at any stage of the week? Okay? And most people are not. And if they are, kudos to them. Kudos. Clap. Clap, clap, clap. To all the people who are putting the time in. But that's required. If you want to be successful, if you want to make money, if you want to advance yourself as a man, you're going to have to improve. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, no one's a finished product. Even me. I'm not a finished product. Myself, no. I don't think there is anyone that's a finished product. Because we can all bend here and there to improve or help somebody else to improve. That's what this live is about. Okay. I'm not mentioning any cash apps or anything. I don't care about that. This is about passing out dialogue. That's all this is about. This is a PSA, public service announcement, designed to give you the information that you need to help get you to the next level. Yesterday, if you didn't hear my live yesterday, go check it out. It was about just simply looking good and how to look good in the clothes that you get. And it's not asking you to spend your bread on a bunch of stuff. It's showing you how to go and find the right stuff that attributes to who you are as a person and how it can help accentuate the best parts of you. That's what that live is about. That was just one of my 7 elements. But today, I just wanted to get more into the 7 elements that mean everything to everybody. Man, woman, or child. Doesn't matter. You're going to need those 7 things. Again, I will say what they are one more time. Number 1, healthy mindset. Number 2, sharp appearance. Number 3, solid base of interpersonal and communication skills. Number 4, strong financial goals, either business or with a good job. Number 5, a great understanding of finances and investing / asset protection. Okay, I didn't hit asset protection, but I'm gonna hit that for a second. I didn't touch on that. I was gonna save that for another live, but I can touch on that so you understand what I mean when I say that. Number 6, being very well read and studied as it pertains to global and current events. Being able to read the things of the world that are happening around you because you are affected, whether you believe it or not. Number 7, being very well traveled domestically and internationally in order to gain a deeper perspective. Okay? First-hand knowledge about cultural dexterity and having sharp perspective. Because I'm gonna tell you something, when you travel, you can read about Budapest, Hungary. You can read all about it. You can open a book, you can go on Google right now. You can Google it, you can go to Wikipedia, you can get some pretty good information about Budapest. Or Istanbul, Turkey. You can look these things up and they'll tell you a lot of things you need to know. But at the end of the day, what ends up happening is your knowledge base is limited based on what you read. You haven't put your feet on the ground there to understand what that society is like. You don't know the customs of the practices of the people who live there, none of the stuff. You just kind of saw it and, oh, okay, that's cool. I see like the Turkish breakfast in Istanbul. That's kind of cool. I wonder what that's like. But you'll never experience it because you never hopped the flight and went there. And you know why you didn't hop the flight and go there? Because your 1 through 7 ain't in place. That's why. Okay? So to change, because if you've only been accustomed to one frame of mind and reference your entire life, when you're instantly immersed into another culture, you start to see life from their perspective, and then you start bending to their ideology and philosophy in these places. So then when you come back home, you're different, because people will say, hey man, I remember the last time I saw you was talking about this, but now you're talking about that. What happened? Well, I went to Istanbul, Turkey for the week, and I ate with the people. I ate a big Turkish breakfast with some of the locals, and we talked about these things, and I saw how the waiter served. I saw some of the people on motorbikes, and I saw how they look at each other, how they talk to each other, how they behave with each other. I saw how they spend money, and very expensive in Turkey, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, you bring back those customs and that frame of reference of thought. So you end up having these ideologies to share with people who have never gone anywhere. That's what happened to me when I first went out of the country. I came back home and people were looking at me like, huh? What'd you say? And I said, blah, blah, blah about this place. And they were like, what? And these are people who had never been out of the state. And so I became like I don't know, a round fire type of dude. When you sit around a fire and you tell stories, that's kind of how it was. Because most people weren't accustomed to the things that I was accustomed to at such a young age. I left the country the first time at 17. 17. And I saw way more than people who were 45. And I never left the state. And they were sitting around listening to me like I was their elder. It was fascinating. I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy. But that is generally the way that it happens. Now, you can elevate yourself at any part of your life, whether you 19 or 48, doesn't really matter. You just have to take steps to do so. Okay? You have to take the necessary steps to put yourself in position to have these things in life. Link in the chat, everybody. You want to come up and have a conversation about this stuff? Let's do it. Let's talk. That's what we're here for. And we're going to talk about ways to continue to build the ideal man. B Print, let me tell you something, man. That is sad, man, when people never leave the state, man. I know a lot of people who have never left the state. It's so crazy when I see someone that said something like that. Man, I ain't never left out of the state, man. I say, huh? I turn around so fast. No, I'm like one of those Dobermans where the ears perk up when they hear something. Like, what? You never left the state? And they're like, nah. But let me tell you something. When you speak to people who have never left the state, their dialogue and their delivery vocally or verbally is totally different from people who have gone to. I'm telling you, man. The next time you run into somebody that's never left the state, just have a 10-minute discussion with them about anything. I don't care if it's about ice cream or street sweeper. Doesn't matter. Talk to them and just listen to the way they deliver their knowledge and what they talk about. Listen to their enunciation of their words. Listen to how they enunciate. Listen to the way they phrase a sentence. Just listen to how they pronounce their consonants. Okay? Listen to these things. And what's going to happen is you run into a dude that's came off of a trip from Seattle selling refrigerators, and he's been to 8 states. And he's back home for the weekend before he's got to go to Texas and California and Idaho for the next 2 to 3 months. And then he's got to go to, I don't know, Dominican Republic for a couple of days. And then from there, he's got to go to Guatemala. And when he comes back, listen to the way that guy is going to speak versus the way the guy that speaks that's never went anywhere. And that's what the sad part is. But you can literally hear it in the way that they speak. That's how it is, B Print. You can listen to people and the way they phrase their words, what they discuss, how they discuss what they discuss. Listen to what they say. And then listen to someone that you know who have actually gone places. Their global awareness is at a high. It's like what they've been exposed to elevates their mindset. It elevates what they talk about, how they see the world. It's elevated instantly. And you speak to someone that's never gone anywhere, and they're still talking about what they saw the police officers do, or what they saw in a neighboring county, in a restaurant. They saw a fight in the subway over too much lettuce on a sandwich, whatever. Sad, man. If you listen to people who have never gone anywhere, it's going to be an awakening to you. And the funny thing about it is they don't even know it. They don't even realize it. They don't realize that the fact that they haven't gone anywhere is not normal. It's normal, but it's not normal. It's kind of like, but bro, you never drove to South Carolina? You never drove to Georgia? You haven't driven to Tennessee and took the freeway up through the Smoky Mountains. You never did that? And they looking at you like, nah. You like, bro, it's depressing. But then they'll turn around. But here's the crazy part, B. Brent. This is the crazy part. These people will be the most bold when they're trying to tell you how to do something. Hey man, but let me tell you what it's like when you have to do this and that. You're like, but brother, please. You haven't even left the state, man, and you're trying to tell me about how peaches taste from Georgia? You're in North Carolina. You probably never even left the region of North Carolina that you're in, let alone the state. And you're going to have a lot of people like that. And that's the crazy part. They're going to tell you what's good for you. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something right quick, B. Print. I had a guy one time. It wasn't even one guy. It was like 4 guys. We were having a discussion, and I think we were standing in a food hall somewhere. Can't remember where we were. And me and this dude just started having a conversation. We were talking about life and moving around and people and finance and money and blah, blah, blah. The conversation went on for a long time, maybe about an hour. And then 2 other guys walked up and they were like, yeah, let me tell y'all something that you don't probably know. And I was like, okay, I'm always willing to listen to people. I'm like, yeah, what's up, brother? Y'all do know that the people in the city, man, ain't gonna let you do X, Y, and Z. I said, yeah, okay. All right, that's cool. I said, but what else? And he started saying some other stuff. But his conversation was very, very limited. But he started trying to tell us about what you can and can't do and why this ain't going to work the way you want it to and why society ain't going to let you go there. And then it dawned on me. I said, this brother's experience, his palette has like 1 color on it. When me and the other brother that was talking, our palette has 30 colors on it. So I'm like, well, we painting this picture, me and this brother, we got 30 palettes, we got 30 colors, 60 colors between the 2 of us with this palette. And we're painting this huge masterpiece, and we need a couple other colors, but your color is just one of the ones we already have. What else can you contribute to the coloring, brother? Bring us another color we don't have. And he couldn't do it. And we both started talking about the things that he was talking about to a greater degree that he was talking about it, and he couldn't believe it. He was like, but brother, I said, no, but let me ask you something. I said, well, if you've done this, this, and this, what were the results? Tell me how it shaped up for you. What happened? You know, because I already knew the outcome. I've seen it 1,000 times. And he was like, so and so. I said, well, nah, man, that's just not how it goes. It kind of turned into some little contentious debate with the dude. But after a while, I said, you know what, bro? This isn't a discussion that I can have with you, because what you're talking about doing, I do in multiple states, not just where you thinking you do it at. You had never done it nowhere else. How do you know how they do it in Washington or Kentucky? You haven't even been there. And he was like looking at me like, I said, well, you only know one perspective, brother. You don't even know what it's like in these other places, or how the customers will react, or what the customs are there, what the food, what the local cuisine is. You don't even know what that is. Do they like hot sauce there? Like, what do they like? Ketchup on this, ketchup on that. Do they like soy sauce on that? What do they like? He don't know. And me and the other guy kind of looked at each other like, yeah, let's go ahead and exit. Let's go ahead and remove ourselves to another part of this building, because that guy was getting angry. And I was like, see, man, that's what people do, B. Brent. They get mad when they can't have the dialogue. But all this goes back to 1 through 7. Namely 1 through 3 first. And I hate to pick on people. I don't talk about it. I'm not going to talk about the guy. But let's just say he had not eclipsed 1 through 3 on my list. 1 through 3, he had not eclipsed those. I'll tell you again. Number 1, healthy mindset. Number 2, a sharp appearance. Number 3, a solid base of interpersonal and communicative skills. He didn't have any of those. That let me know right then and there, you can't even talk about 4 through 7. Because you didn't even take care of 1 through 3. And 1 through 3 is easy. You can handle 1 through 3 yourself. You can't blame anyone if you don't know 1 through 3. 1 through 3 is all on you. You have to want to do number 1 through 3. And since you can't have a dialogue about 4 through 7, because it's out of your wheelhouse. I laughed to stop from crying, man. I mean, there's so many holes in our community that we need to patch up, man. But guys have to dump the pride first off, man. You have to, if you want to be a better man, I'm gonna tell you something my pastor once said to me. Get closer to Christ, you have to die to self. He said that. And I said, you know what? That applies to life. To get closer to anything in life that's worthy of your time, you got to die to self. You have to put your selfishness and your pride to the side. Because people get ingrained in what they believe and what they stand for over time, and it's not necessarily the best thing for them. That's the thing. No, he didn't befriend. He sure didn't. 1 through 3 was devoid of him. He didn't even know. He was behind. He didn't have 1 through 3. So when he started talking about 4 and 5, I was like, okay, brother, that's enough. I'm like, man, if you ain't 1 through 3, bro, man, his shave wasn't even right. I'm like, man, you can't even get the shave going on. You can't even shave yourself properly. But what do you know about 4 through 7? You can't even shave. Brother, your clothes all messed up, man. Look at your shoes. Your shoes, leaning, man. They leaning like you on some heroin or something. Your shoes got that gangster lean. I'm like, man, you can't talk to anybody in the world at 4 through 7 if your number 3 is messed up. If your appearance is all jacked up. Number 1 and 2. People, you think, and I told my guy, I said, hey, man, I said, this guy don't realize who he was talking to just now. I said, do you think the wealthier people in the world are going to have a discussion with you where they take you seriously? They might listen to you to be polite. They may say, yes, sir, okay, no problem. But they're not going to go home and say, oh, that guy gave me a stock. That guy with the heroin shoe lean gave me some stock tips. I'm going to apply this information. That's the dude ain't never left the state. I've been all around. I've been to 100 countries, and this dude has been to 1 state. So I'm gonna go home and apply what he told me in that store today. And I'm gonna buy these stocks he told me to buy. It's like you're trying to tell Warren Buffett to do something like that, man. And hey, bro, you right, man. The pride, man. Just like, bro, that Tyreek Hill thing was crazy, man. That's that pride and that ego, man. I keep trying to tell people, an ego is your worst friend if not managed properly. And I'm gonna say this again, like I said last night on the 3 Feet and Rotten show, guys. Go check us out. If your ego is telling you something, most people don't realize the ego is only designed to give you a little bit of confidence, but not to be flamboyant and obnoxious. But some people can't control that because they don't have the right mindset. So when you look at a Tyreek Hill and the guys like that, him, even the cop, they both had egos. And where that went wrong was that the first ego could have obviously de-escalated the second ego. The cop didn't have his ego out at first. Tyreek being who he is, that pride and that ego, nah, man, I ain't got to talk to this dude. Who is he? He's just a cop. They're a dime a dozen. It's only one Tyreek Hill. There's one Tyreek Hill and a McLaren. That's what he was saying. So to himself, that is. And then that you can tell that energy was on him when the cop knocked on that window, because he was like, stop knocking on my window like that, man. Stop knocking on my window like that, man. Well, brother, it was just an authoritative knock to say, hey, I'm out here. Let me go ahead and get your details. It's a glass window, man. He can knock on it how he wants to, as long as he don't break it. Whatever, man. If you don't like it, say, okay, let me get your name and badge number. All right, I'm going to just drive down to the department and I'm going to file a complaint on you. That's all I'm going to do. Why have a street side debate with the cops, man? It's kind of stupid. They don't need. You have recourse and redress already afforded to you. Just use that. It's the same thing with a lot of people on the street. People let their pride and ego keep them from not getting 1 through 3 because they believe that their way is the way. But then they'll come to you later on when things aren't working and they ask you for assistance. You're like, well, I thought your way was the way. Because I tell them, hey, man, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. You need to go here, do this, and do that. No, I tried. I don't do this and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, how did that work out for you doing it your way? Because if it worked out, why are you talking to me? If it was so grand of an idea, you'd be doing it already by yourself. You wouldn't need me. Nah. Now they want your help. It's like, what? It's like, come on, man. Like, this is ridiculous. For real. most of the people out there, their egos and their pride is going to get the best of them. It's going to keep them from being who you need to be in life. You use pride and ego after you've already excelled and started climbing the mountains, which you have to do. But you don't use ego to disparage people now. I'm not saying that. Let me be clear, guys. I'm not saying to use ego to make people feel less of a man and all that stuff. No. If you have a form of an ego, you need to understand how to use it. Ego is just a sliver of confidence in there, but taken out of context can become flamboyance. A whole different perspective will start to flare where it rubs people the wrong way. Then you become very annoying and, all these things. It starts to come down on you and smack you in the back of the head. That's typically what tends to happen when you do these things. You start having those types of issues. Flamboyance comes from pride. It comes from the ego. They're all one and the same. And they're ill managed, which will result in ineffective results for you. Tyreek, his ego was so big that he didn't think once. He didn't think about once they would drag him out of the car and put him face down on the pavement, at a hot pavement in Miami. Now, what I was saying was on that live last night, he didn't realize that the way they had his arms and all that, could have easily tore his rotator cuff. And there would be no catching 70-yard passes and running down to the end zone and recreating the arrest scene with his teammate. None of that would actually have happened if that cop would have actually applied a little bit more pressure. Now, I know arm bars extremely well. And misaligned and misapplied, that arm would have popped out of socket. That shoulder blade would have gotten ruptured. That tendon in your shoulder would have got messed up. The rotator cuff easily would have got torn. Easily. That right there, man, that rotator cuff's a BI or mine. I'm just doing push-ups repeatedly. And that's what happened with that. But his pride and ego could have cost him a full season. Could have cost him some injuries on that sidewalk. It was a multitude of cops out there too. 4 or 5 of them. So that could have went in. That could have went any kind of way. That could have had a whole bunch of dire consequences that could have affected him because his ego and his pride wouldn't allow him to say, you know what? Let me just give you. And I know you're supposed to stand up for your rights, but at that point, brother, they got a right to tell you to get out of the car. If you don't get out, they're going to snatch you out. The Supreme Court has already upheld that, and your pride and ego get the best of you. Even if the cop was wrong, which he was to the degree he was, the way he did it. That's not at that moment. At that moment, you're going to suffer. Now, you'll have recourse after the fact, maybe days and weeks leading after the situation. But guess what? You already tore your rotator cuff, so you're not going to be on the field. You're missing time because you're injured from the hands of an aggressive police officer because you didn't have the proper mindset. Remember, a healthy mindset. Number one. Healthy mindset, guys. Number one, a healthy mindset. A healthy, sharp mindset keeps you from making stupid moves. Helps keep you from making stupid decisions. It allows you to foreshadow things a lot clearer. Because we make a lot of mistakes as men. Sometimes we'll get out there and sometimes we'll say something because, pride or the ego will throw you out, it will thrust you into some stuff. I know. And your ego is a liar. It'll lie to you. Your ego will tell you to do something that you know you can't do. But you're kind of like, nah, I'm going to prove my ego. So then you get into a personal battle within yourself. It's kind of like, I'm going to prove my ego. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, let me do it. Your ego says, hey, man, about a year ago, you were able to do that jump spin hook kick without a problem, brother. When you was 21, you could do that kick 2-3 times in a row without pulling any muscle in your back. Your ego will tell you that. And guess what your stupid self will do? Your stupid self will try to do it. And then your stupid self and your body ain't on the same page, and you didn't tweak something in your back, and now you're laying on the floor trying to stretch it out. It happened to me. I'm not 21 anymore. I can't do the same stuff I used to do when I was 22, 21, 22. I'm 45. So now I have to think and act accordingly. I have to have a healthy mindset. And I can't be arguing with stupid people about stupid things. You just have to pick your battles, guys. And ladies, we have to pick our battles. We have to align ourselves with the appropriate scenarios so that we can actually live a healthier and happier, more prestigious life, a more prosperous life, prosperous life. Prosperity is there for those who deserve it. So I'll run down this list one more time in case you're just getting on this live and you didn't hear it. The keys to self-improvement, whether you're a man or a woman. But obviously I was targeting the men on this, but hey, this is for everybody. The keys to self-improvement: a healthy mindset. Number 1. Number 2, sharp appearance. Number 3, a solid base of interpersonal and communication skills. Okay. Number 4, strong financial goals, whether it be business or through a good job, a great job, it's all fine. Number 5, great understanding of finances and investing and asset protection. I'll touch that in a minute. Number 6, being very well read and studied on a multitude of subject matter. Okay, global and current events, things like that, stocks, investing, bonds, self-improvement, parenting, health, anything about biology, a multitude of subject matter that's out there for you to revel in, indulge in. Get those books and study. And number 7, finally, being very well traveled domestically and internationally. It gives you an ability to develop a deeper perspective and sharpen your cultural dexterity and perspective on life in other cultures. Those are my 1 through 7, everyone. Now, let me peel back one quick second. In number 5, I said great understanding of finances and investing and asset protection. Let me hit asset protection. What up, T Money? What up, G? Glad you're in here, T Money. We're talking about men's self-improvement, brother. Ways that men can self-improve. Areas that we don't talk about, areas that need to be known and heard, brother. We covering it tonight. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah. So I'll peel back the asset protection right fast because I think a lot of us guys on here, we've accumulated some form of wealth and assets, and we're trying to grow it and maintain it and protect it and to take it to the next level. So I'll hit on that a quick second. It's going to be another live for this though later on. So asset protection involves gaining access to assets and placing them in an environment where no one can actually remove them from you, forcibly or not. And that means, I'll tell you a term that was stated by one of the most prominent Americans in the executive branch: own nothing but control everything. That was a term they use all over the place. They've used it overseas. And own nothing but control everything. What does that mean? Simple. You have possession of items. Remember, guys, under the Uniform Commercial Code, and I challenge everybody to Google that, Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. In there, it tells you that possession is 9/10 of the law. I know you guys have heard this when it comes to land and stuff like that. Possession is 9/10 of the law. 9/10. They're 10/10 or one whole, but in this case, possession is 9/10 of the law, right? If that's the case, what is the other 1/10? What is it? I'll tell you. Other 1/10 is what is known as attachment. I'm gonna tell you how just that word. I'm just gonna cover just that. I don't really need to get anything else. That's deep enough. Now, possession. 9/10 of the law. Other 1% is attachment. Possession is having a car that you buy. You go to the dealership. You take your 729 credit score down there and your $2,000 down payment, if any. 740, you can get anything without down payment. That's going to get you the lowest interest rate, 740 or above, by the way. If you didn't know that, but you know now, because Quantum got you covered. So you put your 1,000, 2,000 down, and you drive off the lot in that dope car, right? Got your dope automobile, you're looking good, feeling good, you're good. You got your new house you done bought, all this wonderful stuff, right? You got assets or liabilities when it comes to a car, but that's a whole nother lie. But anyway, you're going to call it an asset because it's getting you from point A to point B. It's very nice. It's $60,000 car, whatever you want to call it. Boom, you looking good. You fly, right? Rolling around town in your brand new Beamer. Boom, you smooth. And you're buying this car. You're financing this car. And let's say you pay it off over the course of 5 years. You pay the car off. You pay $1,000 a month or whatever your car note is, $800-900. Boom, you pay it off. 5 years later, you got the title in your hand. Okay, now you're moving, right? You're probably at this point a quarter of a way through your mortgage, and you got about 24 years left on your mortgage. So you got some pretty decent equity built up around that. It ain't good. I mean, you're going to get good equity around year 10, year 14 is when you start seeing, accumulation. But around, you got something into it. You got a down payment in your house. You put down 20% or whatever it is. Unless you want FHA, you put down 3%. That's a whole nother story. Well, let's say you got the property, you're rolling, you got your house, you got your car, you got your property, and it's in your name and you're cool. Your car's paid off, you have no debt, you're doing well. And somebody just says, oh, remember that time? And then you get a lawsuit in the mail. Bang! You go out there, you look in the mailbox, and somebody's suing you for something. And you're like, dude. Now, most people don't get sued, but there are a lot of lawsuits. Just because they don't touch you, don't mean they're not. And I'm going to tell you, you rarely get sued when you're a nobody because you know why? You ain't covered 1 through 3. You don't have 1 through 3 down, so you're not getting sued yet. You don't have anything. No one's targeting you at 1. When you don't have 1 through 3 down, you're definitely not at number 4 through number 7. So no one's trying to sue you. The worst you're going to have happen to you is probably the repo man going to look for you. That's about all. You may have the foreclosure bank on you or something like that. You may have a credit card company calling your phone every now and then. That might be the case. But 1 through 3 hasn't hit you yet. So you are looking around and you're saying to yourself, this lawsuit is about to hit me and I got my car paid off. Well, guess what? Now they can come and take your car if you lose in the court. You now lose in court. Your judgment is against you. They come and take the car because you have no cash to pay them. So they're going to take your car as collateral for whatever indebtedness that the court say you owe. Boom. Now you lose it. Now you out of there. Now you don't have a car. That's the 1% is called attachment. That's the attachment. When they are able to attach to the items that you quote unquote own, they remove from your possession. So now you don't have that car anymore. Or that house. They do the same thing with a house. Attach to it, take it down, boom, you out of it. Now you don't have it anymore. It's gone. Right? So the whole thing is, now you must find a way to recompense. Because they've removed from you things that you called yours. Because they had the legal authority to do so. That's the 1%. Attachment. 9/10 of the law is possession, or possession is 9/10 of the law, other 1% is attachment. Boom. So asset protection is about taking that 1% and bringing that back to your situation to where they can't attach to that 1%. See, the reason that 1% is out there is because you leave that hanging in the out in the open. So most people are only trying to control the 9/10, which is having the car. So you think you're good when you got the car, but you really don't. Because if they sue you and win, they're going to have the car from attachment. So you got to control the attachment. That's another thing that I do with people. I help them to control the attachment. Because that attachment is what will remove that item from your possession. You'll have the 9/10 of the law as the possession, but you still don't have the attachment phase. The attachment phase is out there. It's willy-nilly. First come, first serve can take that attachment. And that goes for your houses, or your car, or your cars, plural in both situations. Singular or plural, whatever applies to you. Same difference. What up, Big Tight? Glad you're in here, man. Talking about self-improvement for men. How to take it to another level, brother. Now, I'll just say it. We spend a lot of time out here talking about the things in life that really don't have as much meaning or that affects us. But the thing about it is the things that do affect us that we can control, because we can't control if Bryce looked like a scrub, crying out loud. I hate to even say that, but if you look like a scrub, what can I do about that? You know one thing's gonna happen? He gonna go home and lay on some silk sheets in an uptown penthouse, driving a Ferrari on your tail. That's what's gonna happen after the game. Whether he win, lose, or draw, he gonna get that. He gonna speed past you doing 82 in a 35, smiling at you with that little grin. Whether he throw 4 picks or no picks, he gonna do that every Sunday. But guess what? None of that affects me. It affects me while I watch it. But after the game, where am I at? I'm pissed, but I'm still broke. I'm still in the hole. I still haven't improved. I still haven't accumulated anything for that week. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how to help you to accumulate during the course of a week's time. Despite anything else in the world, we're talking about getting you to a position to where you'll have the greater things in life and where you can succeed and have the prominence. I want to go back to one thing, though. Access to the rooms. Okay? There exists in society, guys, rooms, events, organizations, brotherhoods, things that you don't even know about, things you don't have access to, things that are not discussed in open forum, meetings that are happening, deals being made behind the scenes that you never even think were possible. You know why? Because you're not invited. You're not invited. You're not given the key or the invitation letter. You show up at one of the doors, they're going to say, sir, turn around. And a lot of the people that say they want to be at these things, they still haven't taken care of 1 through 3 yet on my list. Big Tight, I know you're in here, so I'm going to give the list one more time if you didn't hear it. Okay? I'm going to run down the list of 7 things that men must have to self-improve. To list the 7, brother. 7. Very simple. 1, healthy mindset. 2, sharp appearance. 3, solid base of interpersonal and communication skills. Number 4, strong financial goals, either through business or through having a good job. Either or, take your pick. 5, a great understanding of finances and investing and asset protection, which I just covered. Possessions 9/10 of the law, other 1% is attachment. 6, being very well read and studied on a multitude of information and global and current events. That means being knowledgeable about home remedies, being knowledgeable about how to fix your car or why your car is doing this. Just have an understanding. Knowledgeable about Arc de Triomphe in Paris, or I don't know, the Brooklyn Bridge for that. It doesn't matter. The Lincoln Holland Tunnel in New York City. Just understanding the world, being very well read. Number 7, being very well traveled, internationally and domestically. B Print agrees with me. He knows what I'm talking about. Being able to move around, tight. I know you drive, so you've been in more than one state. A lot of guys haven't. There are a lot of people that haven't done that. And again, I don't disparage those people. I challenge you to get to a point to where you can move about. Okay? I know people that never even been on an airplane before, believe it or not. So you must possess those 1 through 7, Big Tight. B Print understands it. T Money, I know T Money get it. He know. A Kobe, he's our young shooter. He's going to get it over time. No one is born into this unless you are Barron Trump. Right? Everybody else, we got to go out here and create the way, man. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. We're covering all the different things in life that make sense. We're talking about all the things in life that will, have the most effect upon the way that we move in this world, man. We got to know this stuff. Yeah. So we want to go ahead and just, like I said, I got the right here in the chat. Got the link. You guys want to pull up, ask some questions. I'm gonna tell you something now. Don't take the time to understand these things. If you don't know them, you can't say quantum and try to give them to you. You can't say quantum and try to hand it off to you, man. I try to hand you off the ball like Chuba. I try to give it to you. but don't fumble it, man. This is life. This is information that's going to put you in a situation to advance your livelihood. These are 7 things I came up with off the top of my head that made sense to me. I have a whole lot of stuff. I'm just only covering these little areas right here because these are just the basics. These are just the basics. These are the most simplistic elements of understanding that most people can find out. The very basics. Yo, Big Tight. I hear you, brother. I got you, man. That's cool. Hey, I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to have an opportunity to go out and create good business, good etiquette, good mind, sound, body, and spirit. All right? That's what I want. I want everybody to get there and advance and succeed and have a chance at a greater life. These rooms I'm talking about, they're available to those who have covered the 7 that I just mentioned. There's 7 steps. Those 7 steps will get you into these rooms. And you guys know what else was funny? Those rooms where all these people who are prominent and prestigious are in, that will give you opportunities that will stretch your life way beyond your farthest imagination. These rooms, it'll be people that you'll be standing in front of the line in Starbucks. You'll be surprised who's in those lines. Like you'll be at the grocery store, you be at Whole Foods, getting some tortellini shells or something. And you'll be in line ready to pay, and the dude in front of you may be the CEO of LabCorp or Honeywell. These guys go to the grocery store just like you. They don't order everything out, but you will never know who they are because they don't publicize themselves like that. Like they have a public image, but they don't publicize their faces and everything all the time. Like they'll have press conferences and stuff like that, but they're not the most publicly known people by their face. They're known by their name. People with a lot of prominence, they're known more so by their name noteworthiness. It's not so much their face, unless they're a public figure. Like everybody, if you run up in Bill Gates and you see Bill Gates at Starbucks, or Tony Robbins, you see those guys at Starbucks. Oh, it's Tony Robbins. You don't know who that is because they're public figures. But then there's the CEO of Bojangles or Yum Foods who runs that whole enterprise. Nobody knows what he looks like. Or the CEO of the hotel group that owns the Marriott. Do you know what he looks like? Does anybody know what he looks like? Have you ever seen that guy or that lady? Have you ever seen the CEO of GM? I mean, have you seen these people? So if you actually were standing beside them at Taco Bell, would you even know? No. I'm trying to tell you. But I run into a lot of these people at certain places, and I'm like, dang, that's the dude that owns so-and-so. And he's like, yeah, that's him. And the people that run the store, whatever, they know him because sometimes that guy will frequent that store or whatever. They're like, yeah, that's so. Did you know that's what you call him? He's like, really? They're like, yeah, that's him. I mean, I'm saying you have to be sharp enough to understand these things and be ready, because an opportunity can be right on your door. But you have to be always presenting the very best you. Those 7 steps. You have to have all those built into your mindset, into your psyche. If you have these 7 things acquired and mastered, you will be one of those. You will be in the room with one of these people at some point in time, because those are the skill sets required to elevate you amongst or above the people who have not taken it seriously. So they're going to consistently be left in the mud, because they're not going to take those things seriously, and they're not going to advance in life. And you're going to excel, and you're going to surpass them, and you're going to end up in places where people like that typically congregate. All right, they're going to be at the Whole Foods. They're going to be at the Panther games. All right, they're going to be at the ice skating events at BB&T Field, or rather Truist Field. They're going to be at the parades in Uptown. They're going to be at these places. I'm telling you, they're going to be at South Park Mall. They're going to be everywhere. These people do go out. They're not just sitting in the penthouse all day like they're on house arrest. That's just not the case, guys. You got to know this. People with prominence, even in our city. Think about it. Give you an example. Here in Charlotte. 9 Fortune 500 companies with a host of other smaller frame entities that are on the 1,000 list. Those are some prominent people. Take the CEO of Duke Energy. That guy, one of the most prominent energy executives in the country. Right down on South Tryon Street. Right on South Tryon Street. You can see the Panthers bench from his office. You take his field glasses or his field binoculars, and he can see the logo as if it was right there in the palm of way up on the 51st floor of his building. Brand new tower they just constructed over there, by the way. And you don't think that guy ever goes to get groceries? He's not going to Uber Eats everything. He probably got a chef and some stuff like that. But some of those people want to feel normal. They're going to want to go out in town too. They want to breathe the Charlotte air. They don't want to be stuck in some room in an apartment 12 days without going out. They're going to go outside too. They're going to go to the events. They're going to go to the local, whatever events in town. You know, the marches and stuff. They're going to be out there too. And you might be standing right next to one. I'm going to tell y'all a story. This is crazy. I took my family to Carowinds one time. This has probably been about 7 years ago. And I'm in line to get on Fury because I love Fury. And if you haven't got on Fury 325, make it get up there to Fury 325. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I'm in this line. A long freaking line. This line, we were in line for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And I'm like, dang, this line is long. And we just steadily inching along. And all of a sudden, this guy, and it was this dude, and he has 2 sons with him. And we're just sitting there having a conversation, you know, just, hey, man, talking about the ride and how long I've been to Carowinds and how many years I've gone and where he's from. Oh, we from Ohio. We've gone to Cedar Point and all this stuff. And we're just having general conversation. And the guy was really cool. And he said I was really cool. He's like, he said, you're a very cool guy. And I said, thank you. I said, you're pretty cool yourself. And my son was talking to his sons, and I was talking to his son, and he was talking to my son. It was a great time. That was the best 2-hour-long wait I've ever had. But I'm talking to this dude, and we're going back and forth, and all of a sudden we start talking about current events. and we kept it mild. We didn't want to go too much into politics, but we started talking about things that we both could relate to. And then one thing led to another, and he asked me blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We started talking about finance. And he's like, really? He said, you know about that? I said, yeah, man. I said, do it every day. And he was like, no way. I was like, yeah, man. He was like, I do this so-and-so, so-and-so. He's like, let me tell you who I am. He said, I work for so-and-so. Let's just say this guy ended up being a very prominent executive for a global company that just moved him to Charlotte to represent their entity because they was building a new facility here. And he had been in Germany and some places like that. And they had just moved him here to take over and to start the North American division of this company. And he was like, you'd be perfect to come in and talk to our people about travel and safety and understanding your wealth and, asset protection and trade finance and all these things that I'm very knowledgeable about. And I was like, yeah, sure. And let me tell you, it's a very big company, new to the United States, but a very big company from where it was from. And I ended up being somebody that was powerful. You see what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about, guys. Now, if I didn't have my 1 through 3, that dude would even looked at me. If I'd have been smelly and had an ugly beard and stumbling over my words, can't put together a sentence, and I sound very incompetent, like I didn't graduate from high school and none of this stuff. Do you think that guy would have gave me the time of day? He probably been nice to me, like, hey, how are you, sir? But it wouldn't have been any extended dialogue. Let's be real. I ain't gonna sit there and have a conversation with you about all this stuff that means something in the world, namely to him and his family, and risk exposing his business to some yahoo that can't even speak properly, can't even put a sentence together, that can't even articulate what he's talking about. He's not going to have an opportunity to meet. And let me tell you something. That guy introduced me to so many other prominent people. And that's how I got in a lot of those rooms I'm talking about. I'm saying, they're rooms, guys. They're rooms. They're rooms, man. Okay? You get in these rooms, you'll hear stuff you never heard before. They'll talk about things in there that you'll be like, what? And they'll say that one of the guys, I went to one of the rooms. It's like an annual trip that they take. And it's almost like having an Amex card, a platinum or a black card. It's almost like that. They have a host of people that are actually part of this group, and you pay a yearly fee. And the yearly fee is like a membership fee, which is cool because most of those guys, they write that stuff off. See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. You write stuff off like that. When you go to anything that's about business, if you spend money for it and you have a company, you can write all of that off and get the tax credit back. So that's what they do. I went to one, and they were like, hey, we're going to go on this annual trip. We'll send you the invite and all this stuff. And I think they're going to Washington State for some ski trip or something. No, it wasn't Washington. I'm sorry. It was like Wyoming or something like that. I'm sorry. And it was like some very extravagant, exclusive ski trip. And some of the names on that list I didn't recognize until I was told who they were. I was like, oh, shoot. There was like the Kleenex family CEO was in there. The guy that owns Kleenex, his company was in there. Who else was in there? It was Lance. I think the family that make the Lance crackers, they were going. A couple of their representatives were going to be there. It was a couple of more. The Entenmann's family, like some of the people in Entenmann's, and they own the Entenmann's desserts, like the donuts and stuff from the grocery store, the little blue and white box Entenmann's. Representatives of their family was there. It was a lot of people that was going to be at this event, at this excursion, and they wanted little old me to come. The way I got in was through some of those people. They were like, you definitely possess a couple of skill sets and knowledge that we want in our group. We'd love to bring you aboard. Come on in. And I was like, now the price ain't cheap though. It ain't. They don't let just anybody in. The yearly fee, something like $5,000. But here's the deal: that's $5,000 you get to write off. back in your pocket, number one. Number two, you'll get $5,000 on one transaction you'll do with somebody in there. You'll make that in 10 seconds. I know, I've done it numerous times. So it's like you go to these things and you start looking around and asking questions like, where everybody else at? And you get in there and it's only like 20 people. And you're like, I thought this was like something big. They're like, no. We only open this up to a select few that we like and select few that we want to be around for the weekend. Because they have more people than that didn't invite. The problem is they can't stand half the guys. They don't, either they got the money, but they don't like them. Either they like them, but they ain't got the money, or it's always something of why they don't let some of these people in. But generally, if they like you and you have something to contribute to the group, and like I said before, if you heard the beginning of this live, it's not always about the money. It's about what can you contribute to the group intellectually, access-wise to transactions. Do you have a resource or a contact that can help them to expand their business imprint to another country? Do you have a guy in Turkey that you can put us on the ground with that can escort our people for safety and security? Who do you know? That's what they want to know. Who do you know, and how can they help us? And how can you plug us into your network? That's what people with money are looking for. They want to be plugged into a network of people who are powerful and prominent. They don't want to talk to you if all you got to talk about is Bojangles. If all you're talking about is surface level stuff, that's the end of their discussion. They're talking about this after they've done all the heavy lifting with the main parts of the conversation. After they've talked about signing a deal, a railroad deal with Mexico, some type of trade deal leading into the port of Miami, or some type of situation coming from Nicaragua or Santiago, Dominican Republic for cigar chain. Like I know guys that have that. If they're talking about that in the beginning, and then when the conversation is rounding out, as the conversation is ending and rounding out, now they're talking about sports and stuff like that. So they don't lead out the conversation with that stuff. Nah, not the dudes with money though. Dudes with money don't think about that. They're thinking about how to further their interest, how to further their enterprises. That's what they're looking for. And the way you get there is you got to knock out 1 through 3, and then you got to knock out 4 through 7. And then you got to build on your 4 through 7 and stay maintained with your 1 through 3. 1 through 3, you maintain. You get it and you maintain it. 4 through 7, you knock that out and you continue to build on those things. So you can grow your 4 through 7. Your 1 through 3 just simply has to be maintained. That's it. If you can display that, you'll pretty much meet some of the most powerful people anywhere that you're at. If you're in a small town, you'll be introduced to some of the small town gatherings where some of this small town prominent people are at. You'll go in those rooms. And then you'll meet people from the state. And then the people from the region, and then people from at a national level. People will introduce you. The average person has about 200 people in their Rolodex that they know. Now, of those 200 people, there's somebody in there that knows somebody else on a greater level than you. Never underestimate who knows who and who they know. My Rolodex, 5,000 some people strong, all over the world, globally. I can call a guy in pretty much every country on this planet, almost. And if I can't call a guy in that country, I can call a guy that can put me on the ground with somebody in that country. So I'm very well connected. I don't have any shortage of being able to access people that I need for whatever I need them to do. If I need security force on the ground in Bogota, Colombia, I can call one of my people and I'll have it tomorrow. If I need to go to Rio de Janeiro, I got a host of partners that I can call. Hey man, I'm going to be coming in. I'm going to be flying into Rio. Boom. I need a team of guys that can escort me, keep me safe. No, don't worry about it, brother. We got you. Boom. By the time I land in Rio and get off the plane, I got a car picking me up. I don't have to call an Uber. If I'm going to Cote d'Ivoire in Africa, same thing. I'm going to South Africa, same thing. Okay. If I'm going to Mirabella, Spain, same thing. If I'm going to Dubai, same thing. Abu Dhabi, same thing. Hong Kong, same thing. Sydney, Australia, same thing. All right. Anywhere I go that I know people, I'm good to go because I've been in the rooms. Once you get in the rooms, you set. Yeah, the money that you thought was little money becomes big money. And then your money doesn't mean anything. It's about being able to be a part of something bigger than you. And then you start getting access to opportunities that you don't even need your money because they don't want your money. You don't want it. The guys with all the money want more opportunity. That's what they don't want your money. But here's the kick. It will allow you to make money with them if you are useful. Okay? That's the opportunities that I'm talking about. They will let you into these rooms to participate if they think you are useful, and if you can further their cause, they will allow you to come in and earn commissions on their transaction all day long. Trust me when I tell you that. And you don't have to use any of your own money unless you want to be a partner in the deal. That requires a hefty investment. But other than that, if you want to just be a participant and get a sliver of the bread, they'll gladly pay you. But you got to bring them something worthy of their while to do so. But you better believe if you walk into these rooms with me, you're going to have your 1 through 7 down first, or else I'm not going to take you. I'll take anybody in the rooms with me if you have your 1 through 7. Because you're not going to make me look like a fool. 23 years in business and operating around the world and going to make me like an idiot overnight? Nope. But I will give you an opportunity if you can knock out your 1 through 7, and then I know you're ready. Come on with me. You want to make money internationally? Let's go. I got you. But you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's. Your 1 through 7 has to be ready to go. You have to be able to speak the language. Because the moment they ask you something and you don't know what you're talking about, they're going to relegate you to the cook staff. Hey, man, do you mind going over to get me a drink? That's what they're going to tell you. Thank you for that little bit of information, sir. Do you mind I want to refill my drink? There's a dish of caviar over there. Go get me a couple of those if you don't mind. That's what they're going to say. But if you come in there and you're speaking the language and you know what you're talking about, you can articulate a good conversation and you got the 1 through 7 down pat, trust me, it's not going to be a problem. You're going to be able to survive the tumult of a room like that. You're going to be able to do it. All right? That's what's going to happen. We're going to hang on here for another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. But I just wanted to give you guys hope. If you're, and I'm speaking to everybody out there, whoever's listening. I don't even know who's listening right now. It doesn't matter. All my guys are welcome. I'm going to drop this information right here. So if you are waking up every day, you're working hard, going to work, knocking out your stuff, you're thinking in your mind, I need to be a better man. I need to be a stronger guy. I need to be a more competent guy. I need to be a more astute individual. Do not ignore that. Take advantage of that feeling or that little voice in your head that's telling you that. Take it seriously. Do not deviate from this. Start listening and enacting a skill set and plan to get your 1 through 7 down. I'm telling you, get your 1 through 7 down, you'll be welcomed to participate level after level. The stronger you get, the more you can power lift. You start out with weight that's good enough for you. Start out, pulling up some stuff that you can get your, don't throw your back out. Next thing you know, you get a little stronger and boom, slap another plate on there. Keep lifting, 2-3 months, boom, slap another plate on there. And that's how it's working. That's how it's going to work out here in this sector. And you'll have access to the rooms and the people who will take your life to the next level. And then life becomes much more enjoyable for you. Right? It becomes much more ingrained in the ideology that you are a participant in a way of life that you're not accustomed to. That's where your mind starts to get ingrained. You start getting these visions. You start believing in a life that you didn't know was there. This is what happens when you wake up. You have to vision these things. You have to play them out. 1 through 7, guys. I need everybody. 1 through 7. I need you to sharpen these up. I am on a mission to build the perfect stoic gentleman. That's what I'm doing here. I'm building stoic gentlemen. I want to walk in lockstep with everybody who has sharpened their mental agility, and you have the acumen and the gravitas to be something in life that you've always wanted to be. That's positive, of course. All right? You move in tandem with those who share your likeness, who are doing the same thing. And that's how strength is developed. Strength is in numbers. Okay, this is how we roll. This is how we're going to roll. So if you that guy, you want to improve yourself, reach out to me. Most of you guys that might be watching this have my personal information. Reach out to me. We talk offline if you want to. It's cool. You want to learn more? Shoot me a message. We'll talk. I'll put you in situations to groom and grow yourself. It's not that difficult. You just have to be accustomed to being disciplined and ready to move, ready to stay on top of your game, ready to be a fixture. Okay? A prominent fixture, that is. Let me just rephrase that. So that's you. You want to enter into these opportunities where you're somebody, where you just don't want to be one of. I made up my mind a long time ago. I didn't want to be one of those guys who just lived and died. I want to be able to somebody type your name on Wikipedia and boom, something comes up. Not just some guy. But to do that, you have to be prominent. You have to have prominence. And to get there, you have to master 1 through 7 to at least have the opportunity to become prominent. 1 through 7 is everything. All right? So I leave all that with you guys tonight. I leave all that with you people. Take what I said with a grain of salt. You don't have to take it as gospel. But just know, in the end, I'm bequeathing this information to you for a reason, so that you can have the opportunities. I'm tired of hearing about people who can't get places, can't get there, can't do that, can't. There's no can't. It's all about you. Okay? So I'm going to close it off right there, everybody. This is your boy, in Quantum Maryland. Back with you with a men's self-improvement talk. Guys, work on your 1 through 7. And before I jump off, I'm going to hit the 1 through 7 one more time. And we're going to close it out. Number 1, a healthy mindset. Number 2, a sharp appearance. Number 3, a solid base of interpersonal and communication skills. Number 4, strong financial goals, either business or a great job. Take your pick. Number 5, a great understanding of finances and investing, as well as asset protection. Number 6, being very well traveled domestically and internationally, very well read and studied on global and current events, and any other thing that involves strengthening and sharpening your business acumen, etc., etc. Number 7, and finally number 7, becoming very well traveled domestically and internationally in order to gain a deeper firsthand knowledge, develop cultural dexterity, and an ingrained perspective. Okay? You must become well-read, guys. If anything, read. One time I read 3 hours a day. And I suggest you do the same thing. All right? And again, this is your boy, Quantum Maryland. Back at you again in Self-Improvement Talk. Go ahead and give me a like, share, and a subscribe. Get them comments. Let me know what I can do to improve this. I want to make it easier and better for everybody. I want to make it palatable and digestible. Okay? Let me know how we can improve. Because I'm always trying to improve. So I'm not perfect. All right. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, everybody. And we're going to go ahead and jump up out this piece. All right. Peace.